What's up, ultra happy people? I am your host, ultra runner, and coach Tanya here, and your magnificent co-host and ultra runner, Andy.
You almost forgot my first name there.
I know, magnificent.
Magnificent.
It's been a while. You have to forgive us because it's been a couple of weeks away from the mic because we've been busy, people.
Couple of weeks.
Months.
Couple of
probably.
months.
We've been very busy, but we are here back to tell you all about it because I received a bunch of messages with so many questions that I thought, you know what, it would be better if I just put it out there in the podcast so everybody can listen to what we just went through.
Yeah, and a big shout out to all those people that we met in our travels at Cocodona that were asking us about the podcast.
You guys want to know something funny? The person that is mostly recognized is Andy. I'm the one, probably because I'm the one running.
Yeah,
and Andy is the one that gets recognized.
We were
it's like, are you the guy from?
We were in the middle of Mexico
yes,
in Durango, of
all
places, and we're in the back of a car, and the girl turned around and said,
Are you
the guy from the podcast? And I'm like,
yes, I am. Maybe because I was actually
bizarre.
inside the car.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are back, and well, like I said, we want to share all the good times that we had with you all. And of course, as you know, 4 weeks ago, I completed the Cocodona 250 race. Ooh. Yay! After one heartbreak, we went back and got it. And yeah, it was fun. It's been a journey, and that's why I want you guys to come with us in the journey. If in case you don't know what is Cocodona, we're just going to put you up to speed, just for the ones that maybe if you haven't heard of Cocodona, you live under a rock. But, no shame. We'll tell you what is it. This Cocodona 250, it's a 400-kilometer point-to-point race, 250 miles, 400 kilometers. And it's a point-to-point, so it goes from Black Canyon City in Phoenix, Arizona, all the way through Flagstaff, all the way up north, almost like a straight line shooting all the way up. And you go through all kinds of terrain, rugged terrain, desert, canyons, towns. It truly has it all. So, and before I start telling this story and how actually this journey went, I do want to have one step back and just start from the beginning, because this is also another question I got asked a lot. Why Cocodona? Why did it came up to your mind? Like, first, why would somebody want to run or walk or crawl 250 miles? So I feel like this is the space for me to tell you all the truth.
A lot of people kind of regard it as like the Super Bowl of the ultra running community, you know what I mean, or the ultra sport. And actually, it kind of feels like that a little bit when you're in amongst it, doesn't it?
Yes, and we'll tell you all about it when we get there. We'll see everybody in the sport is there. But like I said, I'm going to start from the beginning. Like, why did I choose, or how did it came up to my head, let's do this crazy race? And it all began 3 years ago when, I don't know why, for some reason, I was watching YouTube and it popped up a live stream of Arabipa on it. And I started watching. And there was this bunch of runners. I think now I realize, I think they were running through Cottonwood, which I was also there in that camera the first day. I think it was what I watched 3 years ago. And I seen all these different group of people going through the camera. And obviously I knew this was the live stream of this 250-mile race. And to be honest, until then, 250 mile was like, that is for like the mega elite. Like, I would never even, But then watching this live stream, I mean, it's not disrespect, but you see all kinds of shape, body, sizes, ages. And then I realized, like, why wouldn't be able to? Like, I'm younger. I'm maybe if you mean by looks, fitter probably. I was like, I could, why not? So one of the great things that this live stream, so this organizer has a live stream 24/7. So they are 24/7, these 5 days that the race lasts, running around, showcasing the race through a live stream on YouTube. So I watched this live stream and I was like, you know what? And I think it's the first time in the sport that it's like an organization not only features the pro and the elites and all these people that obviously have certain looks, they were also featuring and showcasing the middle packers, the backpackers. And that's when you realize, like, I think this could be for anybody. So, I said, why not? And that little seed was sort of planted in my head. And as I do when I want to solve anything in life or in races, I started writing a mental list in what kind of things I need to do in order to complete this kind of race. Obviously, the first thing it's a very long event. It was going to be a back-to-back days. So I haven't done anything like that. So I need to practice something like that. I need to have also the mental resilience for days, not only for a day. That's mostly the ultras I've been doing until back then. I need to be a little bit of self-sufficiency because the checkpoints, some of them are really long from checkpoint to checkpoint. So you sort of have to rely on yourself only. Obviously, practice more a little bit of problem solving and heat acclimatization.
Yeah, why not?
Because obviously it's through Arizona. So 3 years ago, I've never done anything over, I think, 100 miles, and we were living in the UK. So definitely there was not a lot of heat there. So I Googled or I searched for races that will kind of cover or would prepare me for these kind of, had these characteristics. And that's when the Racing the Planet stage races came up. And that's exactly why we ended up running the 5 deserts, which obviously, we've covered them enough in the last 7 seasons. So if you want to hear about them, just have to go back to the start. But that's exactly how these started. And I can't believe it's been 3 years. Obviously, I prepared that year. I ran the 5 deserts. Then we went to Cocodona. Yeah, I know. Like, I was finishing the 5 deserts in March, and I was towing the line for Cocodona in April, which was not great planning, but, I was with all my energy and ready to tackle the distance. But as you know, that didn't go very well. And we have a DNF last year. And you can hear all about it in our season 7. And obviously, of course, I couldn't just sit down and let that DNF just, I still wanted to finish it. So we prepared for another year to go back. Like, how crazy is that? Like, I don't, like, from the seed that was planted with the idea to the actual finish line was 3 years that this race, that this objective was in my head for like almost every morning. Because, when you work out and when you're waking up or doing whatever, it's always towards that thing. And that thing was Cocodona for me for 3 years. So, yeah.
I think a lot of our listeners will know what Cocodona is. They'll know exactly what it is. And in such a short time, and if you do go back to season 7, we actually had Steve, the race director, on, remember? And it was really interesting talking to him, who we've actually became friends with now. And I think that Cocodona itself is a bit of an enigma. It's one of those races, like we've said before, that it's tricky. You've got all these different elements to it. You've got to use all these different skills. But also, you line up on the starting line with the biggies, with the heavyweights of the sport, like
where other sport can you go and play around with the best of the sport? Like, it's like going to have a basketball game with Michael Jordan.
But also it's set up, as is, I guess, a lot of these bigger races are now, it's set up to be like that. It's set
Yeah.
up so that what you do is we all interact together, and even pre-race or when you pick up your bib, you can talk to people, and actually, I can't think of another sport where you have that, where you rub
No,
shoulders
it's so
with these
unique.
people, and
Apart
you can.
from the route itself, that is absolutely magical.
And the interesting thing as well, sorry to interrupt, is from the very top, number one to the very last person, all talk about the same challenges. They all talk about the same issues and the same things and the same like problem solving skills that they need to
Yeah,
have.
because we all cover the same distance.
Yeah.
Maybe
You walk the
a little
same
bit
steps.
faster
You walk the
once
same
than others,
steps.
but we definitely have to cover the same distance, and we do go through the same challenges in some sort of range.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting that they speak the same language, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just a bit faster, obviously, but they speak the same language.
So let's start. So with that history on how important was this race in my brain or in my plans, we're heading for the second try in Cocodona on it was May. So we arrived to Phoenix a couple of days before just to explore the city. We took a little bit more days than last time because I felt like last time we went too rushed.
Sure.
So whenever you're traveling, and more so because I am traveling different time zones, very different time zones, it's important for you to have extra days. So I did travel there with a little bit more time. And also because here in Dubai, in the UAE, we don't receive a lot of gels and a lot of equipment that the US has. So I was lucky enough to connect it with one of my friends via Instagram. And she's been actually a fan. She's been following me, and she was from Arizona. And she's like, "Hey, I can't believe there's a Mexican. She's from Mexico. She's Mexican, living in Arizona." And Lulu, big shout out. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're coming. Another Mexican doing this race. Like, if you need anything." I was like, "Well, by the way, I would love if we can order some things." From there, and I'll pick them up. So these days before, they were great because I was able to pick my stuff that I ordered, also connect and meet her. It was so nice to meet somebody that has been kind of following your journey. It was cool, but also weird because I feel like I knew her for so long. Obviously, she's been listening to all the podcasts, she's seen all the Instagrams. So seeing her, she almost knew my life. So it was really cool to just hang about. And that's it. We rode our first driverless taxi in Phoenix. Phoenix people, you guys have a cool place.
I really, really like Phoenix.
It was
It's
so
such
much
a
fun.
cool city. Such a cool city.
It was so much fun. We enjoyed a lot of the burritos. The food was amazing, very Mexican style, everything. Love it. So after 3 days in there doing all that, it was time to go and pick up the van, the adventure car, to head over to Black Canyon City or somewhere a little bit closer because it is a little bit far, Phoenix, like the city, to where the start line is. So just so you know. So if you are thinking in doing this race, this all are good tips for you to kind of write down. I know the lottery was yesterday, so there's going to be a lot of people
Getting ready.
very
that's right.
excited
Yeah.
in going into the journey. And if I can give you a tip, is number one, secure your van ASAP and a hotel close to Black Canyon. Those two things. It's one day after, and I will be surprised it's not all freaking sold out because everybody is getting a van. Everybody wants to be as close as possible to that star line. So yeah, I wasn't able to get too close to the star line, 30 minutes away, 20 minutes, which was not bad. But yeah, we stayed there. We picked up the van. It's the same van that we chose last year. It was great. Indie campers. Big shout out. They're really, really good.
Yeah, really good with us as well.
We also use them for Burning Man. Yep. It's not an it's not a promotion, a paid promotion.
Yeah, but they're just
actually,
good and they know what they're doing.
It's just good.
Yeah.
It's just a recommendation.
Yep.
And that was it. Before I arrived to Phoenix, I do want to do a parenthesis here that I did prepare some stuff before I arrived to Phoenix with the band and my family. I think when you're tackling any of these big distances, you have to break down the distance. I always said it, everybody kind of recommends that. But just to make it more visual, I actually did a little booklet of I'm going to show you guys. I have it here. I don't know if you can see, but it's in my Instagram as well. I posted it in there, and I make like a little booklet with, let's say, chunks of distance, blocks that seemed manageable, and they were going to be sort of our guide to know where the crew was going to be and who was going to be pacing what sections. So I did all that by myself, just obviously because nobody else can do that for you, right? Like you have to do it and kind of organize that on your own. And then once having that, when we arrived to Phoenix, we started just kind of, we got a couple of meetings, crew meetings, just so where I can, tell them like what was happening, how everything, right? Every little note that I had and how I was going to, or how I wanted the things to be run. For example, each block, and then I'm going to be resting. Currently, suggested by my coach that I would be resting 45 minutes between every 5 hours ish. So I actually broke the blocks or the chunks of distance roughly within to hit that target. So I could navigate that like that.
I think something worth mentioning on this one, certainly from my point of view, even though it was almost the things were organised similar last year, it felt better organised and we were armed with better information. So, for example, with speaking with your coach and taking that time, and even I learned some things from pacing and making sure you were okay, things to look out for. I felt like going into Cocodona this time, we were a bit more tuned in. Yeah. Because we had a bit more information, a bit more solid information from different people and different things. You had your booklet, we knew exactly what we were doing. So I felt like it was much better.
So when I arrived to the Airbnb and then I had my fuel that I picked up from my beautiful friend in Arizona, I was able to...
Enough fuel to do the whole of Cocodona for all 500 runners, I might add.
I wasn't sure how much I was... It's better to have leftover.
Well, I think Morton and Precision made a fortune out of you, that's for sure.
I think they made a fortune out of everybody. And Tailwind.
And Tailwind.
And I was able then to divide and set my drop bags, whatever drop bags I was... If there is a very long chunk and there is a drop bag in between, I mean, what is the point of carrying? Because the gels are very heavy. So just make your life easier and do a drop bag. And I put a couple of gels in there. But it was important to have the plan before, because otherwise you don't know where you're going to be putting everyone. So with this plan, it was easy for me to say, okay, guys, the first point that you're going to be is going to be here. The second point, it was going to be the other one and the other one and the other one. A big mistake, not a mistake, but something we changed this year. And I know people would want me to talk about it because I received a couple of messages as well asking, what did you do different? Apart from training and all that, what I did during the race is I didn't do bags per stop because last year it went crazy. There was like 22 bags. It was just mad. There was gels left in one bag because I didn't eat them. There was like no gels at the end, like in the final bags. It was just too insane. So what I decided to tell Andy that he was going to manage the fuel for me. I just put in the paper how many gels he needed to put in each bag. And we just had one massive bag of gels. And every time I would come in, he would just like refill the bag with how many gels I had, left. Because sometimes I didn't eat all of them because I will eat in the checkpoint or I will steal So I steal a couple of snacks from the, it's not that I wasn't eating, I was, getting things from the aid station. So if in the next leg I have 5 hours and I won 7 gels, if I come back with 2, then just put 5 more. Yeah. So that kind of thing, I think that made the administration of everything less messy. Don't you think?
Even the fact that what we decided beforehand was when it comes to water, that we would double fill Tailwind on your front bottles, remember? And then have just normal water on the back, which already you knew everything was going to be like that. So everything was going to be natural. It's not something you had to worry about anymore. However, towards the end, then when you start, as everybody would imagine, as you start getting almost tired of gels and tired of Tailwind and tired of the same things, at that point you started to say, well, let me just choose a few things before I leave. Just because, it's like I say, everybody would be getting bored with the gels.
But having administrated it like that, I think it's so another option for anybody listening. Just don't do bags, because that's what I did the first time. I just had one massive bag and we would be refilling from there. Obviously, I had my bag of medical kit, my bag of spare clothes, my bag of socks, all those were exactly the same. But the fuel, that's what I changed this time. And I would recommend you guys to try this option.
I think another thing that was really beneficial coming in this year after doing it last year is there was things that we recognised that we needed to stop. So, for example, when Tanya would come into the van, then what would happen is all 3 of us would be in the van and we would be trying to do different things. When we realised, no, what happens is I take the bag off we take it outside. Jobs. I don't even go in the van. Only your mum goes in the van. Your dad deals with charging everything. So actually having those designated jobs, pulling everybody out the space and just allowing you to relax.
I think the problem last year was that it was raining.
Yeah.
Very bad. So obviously I couldn't kick them out of the van. Everybody was in the van while I was trying to nap, which was very difficult to get my bag sorted. They were getting my bag sorted while I'm, and I can hear and feel all the move in the van. And it was messy. This year was super different because they were, like Andy was saying, they were able to leave the van. And yes, that's a very good point. Designate jobs to each of your crew and then just have them just do that job. So with all that, that's what we covered in the little crew meetings. There was a couple of shouting, couple of screaming, people getting angry.
We even done a role play.
But yeah, it was fun. I was like, great, we survived a crew meeting. So the crew is my parents, mom, dad, Andy, and that was it. And my parents speak Spanglish. Andy speaks Spanglish. My mom, not much English either. So yeah, you can imagine that's a crazy bus right there. So the next day we went and picked up the BIV number the day before the race. And that is a day that is super exciting. Driving up to Black Canyon City, it is nerve-wracking to see the start line for the first time. Like, you get all the emotions, like, and then you just see it standing there. And obviously everybody is there. Like Andy was saying, it's like going to the Super Bowl, the Oscars of ultra running. This time I didn't see Courtney Dauwalter. We seen her last year.
Yeah.
We did see Sally McRae. Obviously, I seen Rachel Entrekin.
I scared Eddie a little bit.
Yeah, he's like,
Eddie and Sally McRae.
I want to go and talk to Eddie, Sally's husband, because he feels connected to him. He's like, we suffer.
We're trail husbands.
Trail husbands of like crazy women. So you wanted to go and talk to your
really, really super nice people. Really nice.
Super nice.
Yeah, really enjoyed talking to them.
Yeah, it was the first time meeting Sally, actually. Super nice. And also Rachel Entrekin was around as well, which I don't know why I didn't get a picture of her. Like, I should have. Everybody was taking pictures, so I don't know. I chickened out. But now when she was like, I should have, because who knew it was going to be such an incredible year for her. And I seen also a lot of friends. I have my native women running friends from that we've connected also by Instagram from last year. We shared a couple of miles, a couple of them, and with me, and we kind of stay connected. It's such a beautiful community. And I was looking for somebody to do my braids because my hair is so thick and so heavy. The only way that I can last days, without getting a headache, because my ponytail gets so heavy, I realized it was with braids. So that kind of takes the weight off my head. I know, women problems, right? You guys don't have any of those issues, I would imagine. So I was like trying to look for somebody to do my braids. And they're like, oh, I'll help you with your braids. So I sat down there. I was like, we opened the first braid station at the race big pickup. And I was like, you know what? There should be a station like this a day before the race, a glitter station with like funky things where you can do your hair and, because that's going to be probably the last day it will be clean and you will look decent. So it was, I went and picked up my number. We got the lucky number 206. And I was like, you know what? 6 and 2 is 8. So that's it.
We make everything around it. Everything.
8 is our number. So I was like, this is a good juju, right? And I went and picked up my backpack, my race backpack. I know people say like nothing new in race day, but hey, there was no other way to get that backpack in here. And everybody was swearing by that backpack, the Ultra Spine Traverse. And so I was like, everybody's like, I seen the reviews, I seen the video. It was like a backpack made for that race just because of all the equipment that you have to carry and the amount of water that you have to carry also on the first day. So I was like, you know what, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. I think it's a 15 liter or something like that. So it's not like a 12 where you would find usually the most commercial brands, and it's not a 23, 25 that there's nothing in between. Just that one. And trust me, I know because I researched, because I was like, okay, we just need a one in between these two, because the other 23, 24, it's massive. And the other one is too tiny. Yeah. So these people invented or make this backpack that it sort of fits in the middle, and it's perfect.
Yeah, and it's really different design-wise. It's not like something, like my Salomon one where I've got a bladder in the back of it. What they've actually done with this backpack is it's actually all bottles.
Goes on the side, yeah.
But it's bottles, so you can actually switch the bottles around. It just makes more sense because it's more comfortable using
and I was looking at
idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they were how they came up with the ideas and all that. And it was because they watched people in checkpoints to see what they were struggling with. Obviously, refilling a bladder, it's a pain in the A. So they realized, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to do bottles. And that was, like you said, so smart, and it worked pretty well. So I was going to try it out. I had 250 miles to try it out. I did have a backup bag just in case, but that wouldn't even have worked out because my backpack was too small. But yeah. So after all that was enough emotion for a day. We drove back the band to the house, and I just started praying, pretty much.
We all started praying.
We all were praying. I did sleep, surprisingly. Yeah, usually, you get scared and you're like, I was okay. And alarm 3:30. And I had obviously my clothes picked since the day before. I tried all my outfit the night before as well, just to make sure everything was good. And that's it. I think the day in the morning of a race or something, not a normal, like a race like this sort of event, something that I've never done, especially something that's already kicked my ass before, I get extremely nervous. I can't even talk. Like I'm in a mood, like I just feel uncomfortable and moody and like, yeah, it's a horrible feeling. If I could change any of my experience of any event like this, it's just a day in the morning. Like that time a couple of hours before, since you wake up to go time, it's the worst for me. I have the worst feeling.
I think the interesting thing about that is everybody does react differently
Yeah.
in some sense, but everybody does feel that nervous, excited energy on the start line.
I was going to ask you, actually, I have it written down here.
Yeah.
When we arrived there, well, obviously we obviously drove. We arrived to Black Canyon. You see all the cars driving in. There's a big Congo line of cars.
Big convoy.
You start seeing a lot of people gathering. Everybody's wearing the headlamp because it's obviously dark. And we went and pick up the tracker because that's the last thing you kind of pick up. And obviously I'm feeling like I'm gonna puke and poop at the same time.
I think you did.
But I think I did. But that was my question to you. Can you feel the energy of the starlight? Obviously, I'm feeling it because I'm on it, right? But somebody that is not, what do you feel?
Yeah, 100%. What happens is it's almost in two stages. What you do is when you get there, you can see everybody all go and get in their tracker and everybody talking, and you can see that they're almost mentally warming up, if that makes sense. And in some cases, actually physically warming up and trying to move. But you can see that people are talking and there's a bit of a social energy. Yeah, there's a social energy going on with people going on. But as it starts to get that 5 minutes to gun and people start getting on the line, you look at that start line and you feel the nervous energy.
You feel?
Don't get me wrong. I mean, when you look at that start line, you see a lot of smiles and things like that as well,
yeah,
right?
But
that's because people don't really know what else to do, I think.
Yeah.
And even some of the biggies over like Sally and Courtney and
they're
Rachel,
all playing and doing jokes.
Yeah, but there's images that you look at them. There's a cracking image of the three of them all looking at each other, and you can see that what they are is they're just focused on the race, and there's an element of nervousness about it.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily nervous as them, but there's definitely a different focus and a shift from that social element to
okay, it's time.
It's gun time.
Yeah. There's a massive clock on the start line, like Andy said, and then you see that clock counting backwards, and it's like a death sentence. That's how I feel. Like everybody's walking towards that coral, knowing that that's the end. That's the end of the old you, because you're about to do something epic.
The end of the beginning.
The end of the beginning. Like there is no stopping in 5 days. Like, I mean, you know, like you're going to fight everybody that's starting or stepping in that start line. Everybody has the eyes in getting to the finish line. There's not one person that's going to be there and be like, oh, I'm just getting to Sedona and I'm leaving. Like there's no one soul in there. Yeah. So you can feel that, like Andy was saying.
But I think another point about it is that, and you definitely experienced it in the past as well, while there's that nervous energy there and you know that everybody's got an element of, oh, we're about to start this, there are people that put their arm on your shoulder and say, it's going to be all right.
It's okay. Last year, somebody went. So
but you can see that on the start line as well, that there's people almost encouraging each other, which is really cool.
Last year, well, I always get super emotional on a start line. Like, I think it's a whole build-up of nervousness, anticipation. Definitely, I'm not excited. Excitement is not the word I will put it. I think it's just nervousness, and it's just a build-up. So I just start crying, even though if I don't want to. It's like, please don't let me do this kind of thing. Like, please save me, come and save me. And yeah, this year I was okay. I found my other Mexican friend in the start line, so we were talking, and that kind of, you know, put me in a better mood.
Takes
or
your
like
mind
kind
off
of,
it
yes, a little bit. But last year I was crying and shaking so much in the start line. And yeah, somebody grabbed my hand and they were like, you know, everything is going to be okay. You're going to be right. I was like, thank you. And just crying and shaking. I was like, why would somebody do this to themselves? Anyway, but yeah, it was great. And then obviously saying goodbye to everybody is so heartbreaking. Saying goodbye to, you know, the people that are going to crew you and all that, because we have 120 kilometers where I won't see them. Even though the first checkpoint that they can go and see you, it's 59 in Crown King. we decided that we were not going to meet there because it's a very tricky spot to get with the van up there. So I put a drop bag. So I was not going to see them. I was going to see them until 120 kilometers after, which is Whiskey Row. So for anybody doing the race, just take in consideration that the road towards Crown King, it's a dirt road with a lot of stones, and so if you're hiring a van, I've heard of horrible stories of people getting obviously their tires blown up or, and you don't want that because you don't have time to make up to the next, like, it's just everything will get too wild. So
Aravipa actually mentioned it in their pack, saying it is extremely difficult for vans and long wheelbases.
So know that it is true, obviously, that and then you can actually survive by yourself. Just put a good drop bag in Crown King. Obviously, all your night gear and all the equipment that you need up there. So I was not going to see them in Crown King, and I will see them all the way to Whiskey Row, which is a very friendly place for any crew to get there. So saying goodbye, it was, sad. I was not going to see them until probably 30 something hours, like a day and a half, where anything can happen in this time. So I was like, okay, see you tomorrow in Whiskey Row, I guess.
Yep. We're like, adios, we're away for hamburgers.
Oh, yeah. And having another snooze. And I was like, yeah, great. And we are off 5 a.m. And the moment and it's super cool because obviously they start counting like 10, 9. And you're like, oh, my God. It's so funny because I think I almost do this in every race when it's like 3, 2, 1. I just take a deep, deep, deep breath. And then I just let everything go right when the moment is like 1, go. And it's like in my brain, I've said this a couple of times in here, I think something switches off. And it's like all this nervousness and all these doubts and stuff, they kind of disappear. It's like gone. Like I'm not crying anymore. And it's like a survival. Like, okay, next checkpoint. We need to make it to Cotton Creek. So I had my little, Cotton Creek, 12 kilometers. Like that is the mission. Like I am on a mission, and doing that kind of mental game with myself, it just kind of makes me in that mentality rather than the nervousness that I had.
Did you feel any different this year on the start line? Did you feel like we talked about being more organized? We talked about emotionally. We talked about a few different things.
I felt more nervous.
You felt more nervous this year than you did last year?
Yeah, very much.
Why?
Very much more. Because last year I was finishing the 5 deserts, and in my head, it was not like, oh, I'm tired. In my head, it's like, oh, I've done this before. I've survived 5 days. It's just, I was like,
how bad can it be?
Yeah, I was like, I just did 5 of those. I mean, maybe not the distance, but the effort of 5 days surviving on my own. Oh, I just did 5 of those in the most extreme terrains in the world. Like, I can do that, sort of thing. And then this time I was like, I haven't even raced in a year. Like, I changed coaches, as I explained to you guys in the past episode, and I changed everything about my preparation, and I think it was for good, but until then
you don't really know.
I don't know if it was the right decision. I've never run over 30 kilometers in a week.
I know, we were laughing. I run more than you now.
So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I haven't even run over 3 hours. So I was more nervous because of those doubts this year.
Okay.
So so my brain starts going into survival mode, and I start like scanning my body almost like every second, like head, it's nothing rubbing, water, eat. Like there's always something to be thinking and be checking. So like you're doing all over again. It's a big Congo line at the start because it's just a single track, and it's like 400 runners trying to go.
And do you know something, right?
It looks really cool.
I don't really use the word beautiful very often, but it is beautiful to watch because what you've got is you're in darkness for a start.
Yeah.
You can see all the stars, and then you can see all the headlamps going up the hill just running. So if you imagine
in a line,
500,
it's all a line.
and
like a
it
zigzag
zigzags
line,
up,
Yeah.
and it is just so beautiful to watch.
It goes up for a little bit, and then it goes down into sort of like a stretch, a beautiful, the sun, it's up at that point, and it's a very runnable, beautiful run. The first, I think, like 12 kilometers towards Cotton Creek. And where is the first point where you're going to only refill your water 4 liters minimum, because the next leg, you won't have any water for the next 30 something kilometers. So 30 odd, 32.
So funny story.
Oh yeah.
So we get back to the Airbnb. So me, your mum, and your dad, the crew, and they say, "Oh, I'm knackered. I'm going to go to sleep." So they went to bed, and I'm sitting on the sofa, not being able to sleep at all. Go and get myself a coffee, and I sit down, and I'm just nodding off, and I could almost sense it.
You put the live stream on.
I put the live stream on. I could almost sense it. When it was at Cotton Creek, I said to myself, "I know my wife.
She's gonna jump in.
If my wife comes up here, she is going to get on a TV. She's desperate to be famous. Desperate." So just as I was nodding off, I just looked and I could see you running into the aid station. I could see you running into the aid station and put your bag down. I thought, there she is. So I jump up and video it on my phone.
You're like, Mom, Dad, she's on the TV.
On my phone. And then I'm counting down the seconds to watch you come back. And then you come up and you're like tapping the guy on the shoulder.
I'm like,
speak
hi,
to me,
can
speak
I
to
say
me.
hello to my parents, please?
You didn't even do that. You didn't even do that. You just said,
No.
I'm Tanya from Mexico. Mexico.
I was, I don't know why.
You actually said to you must be doing well because you're not even sweating.
You know? Of course.
I was like, I knew she would get on the TV.
That's what I was saying. This is such a great race because you have all these opportunities to, connect to the people out there watching you. I have people here in the UAE, in the States, in Mexico that obviously were not in the race, like crewing. Obviously, it was all my parents. But just being able to tell everybody, like, I'm good, and they can see you also. It was like you were saying, it's fun for the both. It's like an experience for me and for them as well. So yeah, Cotton Creek.
Famous
I was
for a
like,
minute.
Please.
Hi, I'm Tanya.
My 5 minutes of fame in the Arabipa live stream.
And then they're like that. I believe that's Tanya Carmona.
Oh yeah, I love how they say my name, by the way. So if you are doing the race, every time you see a camera, a drone, say hello, because it's such a great way to,
get a bit of
guide your
chat
spirits for all the people that are cheering you.
Carmona.
So it's a 59-kilometer section with over 3,500 meter elevation. So the first day is pretty much a hiking up day, apart from those 12 kilometers that you have sort of as a warm-up. And the first 12, like I said, is very runnable, nice. You get to that station where you can refill your water. It's 4 liters. So the backpack was super handy. It was really easy to fill. I filled my 4 bottles of 1 liter and super quick, easy to put in, out. Also, the backpack the size of it is easy to put things in and out of it. So I took off my hat because it was not really that sunny, really. We were so lucky with the weather. We were so lucky with the weather because there was not a lot.
Cloudy the first day.
Cloudy, and I was so excited because there's no chance I can survive that climb with like the sun beaming on me. I mean, probably I would, but you know what I mean? It would have made it 10 times more difficult.
I actually remember before the race, you were saying that was your worry about that stretch,
so
that it would be so hot.
Because I've done that climb before, obviously, the year before. And one of the things, and the year before it was raining. And actually, I was like, oh, this is better because imagine having this in the heat. And and this year it was like, it's another roulette. You're playing with the weather. You'd never know what you're going to get. So we were very, very lucky. And I even joked that I was like, now I need to finish it because like it's the world giving me a second chance. Like this is pretty much a chance. Like they are allowing you to do it almost easier than usual. So we have after that 47 kilometers all the way up. It's just relentless, up and up and up and up. Luckily, I was able to partner with two awesome ladies. Big shout out to Alicia and Caitlin for most of that climb on that first day, all the way up to Lane Mountain, which is sort of the summit of that whole day, before you kind of descend a pretty straight 5-kilometer downhill to Crown King. I ran that whole downhill. So, well, you get to Lane Mountain and you're like, that's it. Actually, I was a great picture of me arriving to Lane Mountain. When you arrive there, I think the first big day of climbing is almost over. Like you made it. Like arriving to Lane Mountain is a big achievement.
I heard a lot of people saying they didn't like Lane Mountain.
It's hard to get to Lane Mountain. It's a checkpoint as well there. You refill your water very quickly as well because you only have 5K towards Crown King and everybody wants to get to Crown King. I did stop a little bit more because I started feeling a hot spot in my arch of my right foot and I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. I stopped. So a red spot is like how a blister starts. So whenever you feel that kind of rubbing, you need to attend it immediately. Like you cannot wait. It's not going to get better. It's always going to get worse. So I stopped. I did wait it to get to the aid station. And I taped it. But I knew it was not going to last too long because I was sweating so much for some reason. I don't know. Even though it was not sunny, it was humid or hot. It was not humid. Hot. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's still hot air.
It's still hot, yeah. So I was like, okay, I need this like sticky spray that we used to use in the desert. So I quickly messaged the crew, like, hey, I need this sticky spray.
I found it.
You still have it. You still have time to get it, like half a day when you see me in Whiskey Row. So you found it.
Found it. Along with a giant bag of M&Ms and some Fizzy Cola bottles.
What do you guys do, by the way? So you dropped me off. So I'm telling you all the story until probably the end of the day one.
Yeah. For us, see, for that first day, it was the same as last year. It's like a road trip. So what we do is we go back to the apartment. Obviously, I was looking at the TV watching you.
Because you guys still have to sleep there, yeah.
We sleep there for the night. We went and got burgers and a steak joint. It was amazing. In fact, we were coming back, we were trying to find it. We couldn't find it again. And then we hit the road. And your dad and I, your mum's pretty much chilling in the back. Your dad and I get the old American classic tunes on. And we are singing Hotel California all the way to the next checkpoint.
It's funny because when I'm there, obviously, one of the things I think is I wonder a lot, what are you guys doing?
Oh, we're having a laugh.
Oh, I know, but it's like, I wonder what they're doing. Like, if they are at the Airbnb, are they eating? If they are okay. I don't know. There's so many things that I'm like, you know.
You can imagine it. We're on the road. Your dad in his best English accent is singing Hotel California.
He is a Mexican singing Hotel California. Just picture that. You needed to get us a video of that.
69. I might even have one.
So I arrived to Crown King almost at the same time I did the previous year. Found my drop bag and it's my first official long stop, 45 minutes to rest, eat, recover, retape, sort my night kit out and move on for the first night. And I moved on and I was entirely alone by then. So I wonder, and that's one of the times I started wondering if my parents are like, I can't imagine my parents going to sleep, right? Knowing my daughter is wandering about all night through a random forest by herself. Because by that point, you can see my tracker. And I was always, when I was alone, I was like, they're going to see I'm alone. Because you can see my little dot walking by myself. If I'm with people, you're like, oh, she's with two, or there's people around or something.
Yeah.
But I spent most of a couple of hours by myself, and I was like, oh, I hope they don't get worried.
Nah, we didn't care. No,
We've been there so many times before.
No, but the truth is we actually all keep an eye on it. And then what you'll do is, if you to go back to the chat, we've got a family chat.
Yeah.
If you go back to
I
the
haven't.
chat,
I should.
you'll see that there's like maybe 3 in the morning where somebody said, oh, she's here, she's at this checkpoint. And then like at 5 in the morning, I'll message, oh, I've just noticed that she's ahead of the schedule by an hour. So there's like little snippets that go in. So we do sleep, but then we wake up and we have a look, and
that's the first thing you do.
Yeah.
I bet it's like hard. It's something probably I would need to ask my parents, because I think from a parent side, it must be hard. You know?
Yeah,
like you know me, you know it's different. But my parents,
tensions sometimes, even because obviously I'm your husband, that's your mum and dad. We all want the best for you, but sometimes we've got different opinion on what's the best.
Oh yeah.
And
we'll hit the family drama later.
Yeah, no, but I mean, but the thing is it's trying to manage the three of us. The fact that I probably know better than anybody your training and what it should be like and what you're like and what you need. But that's your mum and dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you cannot be like...
we will talk about it later. There was a couple of times I had to put my foot down and say, no, this is it.
Yeah.
But there's also
we'll
times...
talk about the family
there's also
drama
times that they
later.
have to put their foot down and say, no, listen, Andy, we're going to do that.
Guys, if you're going to these events with family and husbands and all that, you all have to agree that there's going to be a point where everybody's want to kill everybody. Yeah. Unless they are all friends, I feel like there's a different vibe if there's all friends and, you know, it's like young people and they're all wild and because I've seen crews like that. But my crew, obviously, is people that are very close to me in the sense of family and obviously. So, yeah, just brief them on that as well.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the family drama later. It's a good one. And then I go off to my first night. That night, chew and spit me up entirely. That was way harder than I remember my first night. I didn't even go in. The good thing about this is being my second time is that I kind of was prepared for the hard sections. Like I had mentally prepared, like, oh, the first section is just a climb. Like you're going to be climbing. It's going to be slow and let's say boring at times because it's just like climbing and climbing. But the second, I didn't remember the second section or the after Crown King being so gnarly. It was so difficult to climb. It was just bad. I was so lucky again that somehow later on I started seeing people curled by the trail and having dirt naps at that point. But I was like, I don't know. I've never had a trail nap before, just by myself. Like, I don't know. And then I seen this woman, just kind of like cleaning up a tiny bit of a trail. I'm like, oh, are you going to have a trail nap? And she's like, yeah, do you want to join? And I was like, yeah. And
not in a sexy way.
yeah.
Covered
and
in
I
mud
was
and
like, okay. So yeah, I curled up. And she's like, we're going to do 9 minutes. Okay. And I was like, 9 minutes. She's like, I know it sounds little, but it's going to feel like a long time. And she was right.
And that turned into the story of Cocodona.
And that was the reason why you will hear about a lot my 9-minute trail naps that were amazing. So I do have to give a big shout out to my friend, which I have the name here and I forgot, Caitlin, that she introduced me to the 9-minute nap. And it was great. She's like, she put her 9 minutes, we woke up and we just kept walking. And pretty much we walked most of the night together, which was great. We made it to a Rastra Creek, which is another checkpoint. Probably that was the 3 in the morning or something. And we picked up another soul, which I do not remember her name. But we picked up another soul there that she was struggling. She's like, I don't know if I want to sleep here or sleep in Camp Kipa, which Camp Kipa, the following, has a proper bunk beds and have proper sleeping pods. So that's where Caitlin is. Oh, I'm heading to Camp Kipa to sleep properly. And she's like, I don't know if I could join you guys. because she was struggling with the sleep.
Yeah.
And in that checkpoint, there's no sleeping beds. So she's like, why don't you push a little bit, and then you're gonna have probably a better sleep.
A better 9 minutes sleep.
Exactly. No, that one was probably a good sleep.
Well, do you know that the 9 minute sleep is rolled out into your personal life as well? Because now, whenever I see Tanya a bit grumpy or a bit tired, I just say,
Go and have your 9 minutes
have
sleep.
your 9 minutes, and then she's back happy again.
Oh God! Now it's gonna be a thing. When I see you guys out there, I know you're gonna be like like the Tabasco. Did you know when I see anybody now, it's like the Tabasco is like, did you bring your Tabasco? And I'm like, how do you know? Yeah, I forgot. Forgot I put all my life out for everybody to listen. So yeah, when you see me around, yeah, you're like, you want to head up for a 9-minute nap. So yeah, we picked up another soul, sort of like before the next big checkpoint, which was Camp Kipa. And that became like a star, the Camp Kipa, because I struggled so much to get there. The climb was even worse than the first section. It was all in the night. We had so many stops. We were just all struggling. But the good thing it was that we were together in a way. So we were, it made me feel like I was not alone in my suffering kind of thing. Like I was like, okay, everybody's feeling that this is hard. I think if I was by myself, I would have thought, oh, I'm not ready. Yeah. I'm weak because I'm alone. So I will be thinking I'm the problem. This is like, I'm not feeling great. Like I think I would have had spiral even more than I was with them. And we were all like, what the hell is this? Oh my God, how long is this? When we were bitching all the freaking 12 hours together. So they're like, I'm going to stop. That's it. I'm just going to sit here for a little bit. And we're like, okay, if one's stopping, we're stopping. So we're all taking like 3-minute sit downs, like, like grumping and, like bitching about it. And, it's good.
It's one thing nice to see at the finish line, because all those girls that you were with over that period, just kind of all met up and all chatted and had a laugh. So it shows that camaraderie.
That's Kettling. That's the one I finished with like 1 hour difference. Yeah. So even though we separated in the next checkpoint, because she decided to go to sleep, and I was like, oh, I need to make it to Whiskey Row because in my plan is not asleep here yet. That's another thing, you sometimes plan. You have to take your plan, how you're doing it without having to jump in somebody else's plan. Everybody has different strategies and you have to not second guess yours. This is also something I learned in the deserts because people were like, oh, why you don't pack this way? Why you don't pack that way? Why you don't eat this way? I'm like, no, like I have to do my own because I know myself better.
Your thing. Yeah.
I need to do it. So same thing here. I didn't second guess myself and I just stick to the plan. So we made it to Camp Kipa. That took 5 days and 3 years to get there. It was so awful, but we made it. It's like they changed the route. That's why I felt it so gnarly. Later on, I realized they actually swap the route. So instead of being, because I did remember last year was a long climb, but in pavement. So I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But this year they decided to do it around the mountain rather to go up in the pavement side. So we were climbing up a mountain. That's why it was so like the terrain was hard. And we made it to Camp Kipa and I ate 12 pancakes probably. And I put my feet up. Put your feet up and eat. Those stops are 15 minutes. I put my watch usually, so I don't go over the time. And I usually ate while my feet were up. So I will be laying on the floor, a chair or something, putting my feet up.
Apart from being a little bit tired, how were you feeling at that point?
I was okay. I knew that was the hardest section. I knew that the worst was over, and that helps a lot. Even we told the other girls, like, don't worry about it. Like, this is the end. We promise. Until now, maybe later on will be another 2 big ones. But this one, like the day is over. From here it's friendly now.
Downhill, as they say.
Yeah, you will. If you survive till Camp Kipa, people, you will be fine. Like I think that's the most apart from being the first night, and you're doing that fresh. I don't know. For me, it was the worst first night. And I think my friends went to sleep because they had like designated cabins to sleep. So they went to have a sleep. I didn't. So we kind of separated there, and I didn't see them again until later on. But yeah, I decided to keep going to what's the name? Camp Wamatoki.
Wamachok.
I know these names though.
Wamatoki.
I left Camp Kipa at sunrise, which was nice. I think it's a nice reboot.
That was actually the first video that you sent.
Oh yeah, I sent a video saying, "Hey
you
guys,
lost your voice.
Good morning." Oh, everybody was like this because it was so cold. And
is a thing. Even I got a bit of it called the Cocodona cough.
Oh yeah.
It's like obviously because you're breathing in all the dust all the time.
The dust and the cold mountain, dry air is very dry.
Yep.
Very dry. My nose was totally destroyed.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on, by the way. But I left Camp Kipa sunrise, which it was nice because it's like a nice reboot. You know, when you start seeing the sun coming out, it's like, oh, that's great. So the light of a new day.
Gives you extra
so
power.
dramatic.
But you know, funny, everybody says that.
It's just, it gives you like
a second wind.
It's a circadian rhythm. Like your body's like, oh, you don't have to sleep anymore.
Hold on,
time to
circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been hanging out with you too long. So it gives you that second wind. Like you're like, oh, I don't need to fight with my eyes because they want to shut down. Like they're like, oh, it's up, it's day, hello, let's go. And then so you get that second wind. So until that point, I knew the worst that was over. And I arrived to Camp Wamatoki, like I was. I don't know, people. That's it. And I zoomed in 2 burgers. They were so good. I thought I was going to get more pancakes, which I was pretty happy. But I arrived at lunchtime and they said that they have changed the menu by that point. So there is a breakfast menu and a lunch menu. So I think they changed at 11 or 12 maybe for lunch. I literally arrived the moment they are like, lunch menu is on, and I was like, great, now it's going to be a burger instead of more pancakes, which I was like, okay.
That's how professional it is. It changes menu from breakfast
changes
to lunch.
Menus, yes. So those
Love
burgers, by the way, I don't know if because I was hungry or not, but they were very good, by the way. Awesome. So laid down while I was having my burger again. Every checkpoint, that's the drill. Do the 2 things at the same time. You can rest while you have your little food. I don't take my shoes or anything. I just put them up in a chair. And I was so excited for the next checkpoint because it's finally Whiskey Row. So I was like hurrying to get out because I knew my family was close. Like that gives you a massive incentive to keep moving, and just knowing that they were close and they were waiting for you. And yeah, I missed you guys. Like I always was thinking like, what were they doing? I hope they were doing okay.
And actually, remember I told you there was a 10-minute delay in the tracker. So we were actually sitting at the van and I was just kind of wandering around and I seen you coming down because
this time nobody went and picked me up.
What are you doing here? That's Tanya. Oh my God, it's Tanya.
I know. I was like, where is everybody? But it was great. Seeing my mom, oh my God, totally broke me to tears this time. I was not, because last year I didn't struggle too much to get to Whiskey Row. Like last year, I felt awesome getting to Whiskey Row. And this year, I felt like shit getting to Whiskey Row.
Yeah, you were in good shape last year.
And this year, I was like, what the hell was that climb? That night just totally threw me. But I don't
think physically you looked bad or anything like that this time. I think when you came to Whiskey Row, you actually looked good, but mentally you seen it take a toll.
I was, yeah, it was hard. I don't know why I struggled so much this year. I think that climb absolutely took a lot of my mental strength.
Agility.
Away. So when I seen my mom, I was like, Mom. So I got a little bit spooked in the way of why do I feel worse? Like I shouldn't be feeling this bad or this tired. But obviously if you're doing this race, don't get spooked. Absolutely fine. This is, last year I felt awesome and I didn't make it. This year I felt shit and we pushed through. So you never really know what's around the corner. So yeah, just don't give up until don't make any assumptions on the way how you arrive to Whiskey Row, which I think that is the first major checkpoint from everybody. And that was my first proper sleep. I was so excited. So excited. I did go in, climb up. And one thing that I've been doing was practicing sleeping. Because I knew that last year, even though I was trying to sleep, I wasn't able to sleep. So this year I did practice, like even going to bed and doing some like breath work and just like breathing in and exhaling and just trying to relax. I practice that every night.
Face
Sometimes
mask
it
and
worked.
Earplugs.
Earplugs and eye mask. Last year I've been practicing it. Sometimes some nights worked, some nights not. But just the practice of doing that. Seriously, don't take it for granted. It's something that you have to practice. So when I got into the band for my first night's sleep, I was like, okay, Tanya, it's time to do what we practice. Breathe in, down, just relax, mind, because it's really difficult to shut it down.
Yeah.
So another big, I hope you're all writing all these suggestions, okay? I'm not writing them down. This is all coming how I'm telling you the story. So you all have to write it down. This is gold, people. This is gold. It's one of the best advices, and I haven't heard of this advice anywhere. You do have to practice how to shut down your mind, your brain to go to sleep. Because you're going to need to sleep at some point, and it's not that easy. It's not as easy as it sounds. Even though you're super tired, trust me, it's not going to be that easy. So I slept 35 minutes, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
What was the time? 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, and then I had 15 minutes for eating, getting sorted again, and all that. That was going to be the drill for every big checkpoint where I will be resting. And yeah, it was fun to see the family. I had my awesome 30-minute sleep, and off we go. Moving on to the next. My mom caught my booklet. So I was like, okay, time to take these things off. So I removed 2 pages on my booklet, which it was like, and off to Watson Lake and Satisfy Camp. Satisfy Camp was going to be the big next one. It was a block of 30 kilometers, which compared to the 120, that's also another thing that gets easier. I think the first one gets really difficult and really not boring, but like heavy. It's because you don't have access to your crew, so you don't see the friendly faces, you don't get to chat or rest or have that friendly, hug or whatever. So that makes it really difficult. But after Whiskey Row, you're going to have your family and your friends around very often, like definitely more often. So after Whiskey Row, I have them in the next 30 kilometers. I just had to arrive to Satisfy Camp.
Fane Ranch.
Oh yeah, Fane Ranch.
Which is another story.
That's another story for another day, because today we don't want to bore you long enough with this story. I know we're not going to have time to tell you all about it, but hey ho, we're going to see you next week. Same time.
Same place for us.
Same place. Do you want to come? And remember to keep doing whatever makes you ultra happy.